My goal here is to share with you, maybe entertain you, maybe give you some information that you can use for your own homestead, but it's all about the community. Hello world, thanks for joining me today. It's kind of hot and humid, but at least it's not in the 90s yet today, so I call this a pretty nice day here in the great state of Texas. In case you haven't seen any of my other videos, my name is Mickey. I live in the great state of Texas with my dog Buckshot, and I'm on a homestead journey. This is the beginning of my journey. Having just started, I still have a long way to go. I don't have property yet. I'm still learning a lot of the techniques that I'll need for homesteading. Now, I apologize for all the extra noise in the background. I'm in a nice spot along the Buffalo Bayou, but there's a gun range. It's kind of loud, so I apologize if things get kind of noisy. It is nice hearing all the cicadas as we get warmer in Texas. It is the time when all the cicadas come out and start doing their singing, so you may hear some cicadas in the background as well. Ironically, while my dog's name is Buckshot, he cannot stand loud noises and gunshots, so the gun range is really kind of bothering him. He's doing a bit of shaking and sitting underneath my chair at the moment, so not sure that we'll get any good shots of him today, but I'll give it the good old try. Today I want to talk to you about the power of community in homesteading, how important community is to homesteaders. I started this journey recently, sharing it on YouTube, and I did that after seeing a lot of the homesteading community on YouTube sharing their lives, sharing their stories and journeys, and sharing a lot of good information about homesteading, techniques of homesteading, tools of homesteading. There's a lot of great information out there and a lot of entertainment value as well. I really enjoyed watching some of the homestead families and couples start their journeys and develop their properties. I'm sharing my journey to be a part of the community. My goal here is to share with you, maybe entertain you, maybe give you some information that you can use for your own homestead, but it's all about the community. One of the first things that you get out of community is common values. Some of the things I learned that were important to me were things like why it was important for me to grow my own food, sustainable living, what is permaculture. I'd never heard of permaculture before I started on this journey and looked at some of what the homesteading community was doing. Why is rotational grazing important? What is rotational grazing? These were all great values. Also, community helps each other out. Helps people get things done. Watches out for their friends and their neighbors and families. Gives advice about how to take care of different problems. If you've ever seen a rodeo, you'll see what they call a calf scramble. The calf scramble gives kids extra money for college, and all they're doing is they're trying to get a calf, get them to come back inside of a box that they've chalked out in the middle of the arena. And it's amazing to see how many kids will help someone else out getting their calf into the square. I mean, some of those calves are 500 pounds. You know, a kid of 100 pounds, if that, a lot of times, is really struggling to get a 500-pound calf into a square. So it's amazing, really, how many times you'll see other kids helping out. And that's community. Another great example of community helping each other out is this video on a channel that I found recently called Grandpa Here. I hope that you'll check it out. I'm going to put a link up here in the corner to the video and Grandpa Here's channel. But essentially, I saw a group of Amish people help each other move a barn. Imagine that. A group of men moving a barn. And this isn't just like a little barn that you could keep a couple of animals in. This is an enormously huge multi-story barn, covered a huge area. I would never have even thought that you could lift a building like that and move it to a different space. But this community of Amish people got together, probably had the barn raising in the first place to build it, and then they moved it to a completely different part of the property by carrying it together. So make sure that you go watch that video. Another important aspect of community is sharing. Communities share with one another. Sometimes people have extra roosters and they ask their neighbor in the community, hey, do you need an extra rooster? You're helping the one family of homesteaders make sure that they don't have to kill a rooster or, make some use out of it, but you're also the one getting the rooster. Do you have too many cucumbers? I have too many cucumbers to pickle, but I'm short of onions. And so one family is, making sure that their extra cucumbers get used, get pickled, get eaten. The other family get some additional onions that they need. Maybe you just felled a tree and you're asking your neighbor, hey, do you need some wood chips? I mean, communities, they share with one another, and that's a huge value. Another power of community is growing together. People share stories of family successes. Their kids play together. Maybe they joined FFA together, or they share in some adventures in homeschooling. They tell others about what you're doing, what your value is. That's really growing together as a community. And there's so much value out of that. I mean, take, for example, the YouTube homesteading community. It's really the community growing together. It's them sharing their stories of success and failure that get us to watch their channels. And it's also the community coming together on each other's channels that is helping them grow as a community. A community also creates and develops commerce. They buy and sell and lease land to one another, buys products from each other like hay or eggs. They take their cattle to stockyards. If you've ever been to a stockyard in Texas, you'll know that it is nothing but community. I mean, there's a lot of gabbing and talking and sharing and coffee drinking, and that's a real community commerce happening there. Now, banks succeed and fail by community. Lending happens because of the community. So the power of community in banks is enormous. Farmers markets is another commerce that stemmed from the community. We wouldn't have farmers markets if it wasn't for the community of farmers, farmsteaders, homesteaders, all getting together and bringing their wares and produce and eggs, all kinds of products to your local farmers market. Your local CSA is another community-driven commerce that's created through families, friends, doing their homestead and farming thing, getting together and selling their produce. So finally, I want to challenge you to watch Grandpa Here's video that I mentioned with the Amish people moving the barn. It's amazing. I want you to look at some other YouTube homesteading channels and gardening channels and support them. Join in the community. Leave some comments, give them a thumbs up and a like. Hit that alarm button so that you get notified when they put out new content. Join in the community. You'll be blessed by it. You ready to go? Tell me. Yeah. Outstanding, son. So that's it for this one. I hope you like this video. I hope you get something out of it. I hope you join in the community. Also, please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video and leave a comment. Maybe there are some aspects to the community that, or being a part of a community, that I haven't mentioned. Give me your comments, give me your ideas, give me your thoughts. And most importantly, don't forget, happiness is the new wealth.